Small businesses would have already crumbled if that was the reality. The economy isn't just about real estate. Many Americans are now living in that reality though, where, all they can do is work, pay rent, try to survive. A far cry from what the American dream was built on. Like if you asked your parents, all they needed back in the day was just one job and that could afford a home, all their expenses, but here in modern times, it's just not quite as possible as we would like.
The US is in a rental housing crisis.
So we pay $3,060 per month. If I'm really honest, I don't think it's a very good value for money.
Homebuilders believe the sector is already in a recession, and experts are calling out laws that make building expensive.
40% of the cost of multifamily development is in regulation. We have to do something about that if we're going to build more housing.
Developers have a really hard job, and they regularly work magic.
In major cities like Washington, D.C., developers are working with limited space.
Most parts of this country have exclusionary zoning. The only thing you can build there is single-family homes, often on pretty large lots.
But in the parts of town where big buildings are allowed,
you see a lot of cranes going up. Those cranes are going to build high-rise luxury apartments.
And in fact, this year we're going to see some of the largest number of apartments delivered in the luxury sector than in history, literally.
Why are there so many new luxury apartments? And what could the government do to get more affordable housing onto the market?
And so this opens up something that younger generations continue to think about. Do I need to move in order to become a homeowner? That's a very rational, logical question, right? Because as you can see here, housing has fluctuated in such an extreme way in different areas here in our country. I guess it kind of explains why the housing market's in such disarray. Because in some areas, you would actually see pricing being cut while in others it's rising. No wonder we're getting mixed signals, right? But if you ask me, there are ways to go about this. It's not going to be like this forever, The housing market goes through cycles just like our economy. So if you're younger, there's probably a chance for you to get into it if you play your cards right. What do I mean by that? Well, just like what a lot of younger kids are doing nowadays. You could probably move in with your friends, save a little bit of money that way. That's one option. Maybe you could kind of bunk with your siblings or maybe your parents as you try to get on your feet. You can't let your ego get in the way of your future, Now, I'm not saying that this is the right path, okay? I'm just saying that you need to weigh your options. And if a lifestyle change is what you need to grow financially, then why not? There will be a balance somewhere down the line where you can live a life as well as afford experiences. It's not impossible. However, it is definitely challenging to attain. But the one thing that many experts believe is a key to finding that balance is to stay away from bad debt. What am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about purchases that you don't necessarily need. Why? Well, were you aware that almost half of Americans believe that they're going to pass their debt on to their loved ones once they die? Now, I'm gonna go ahead and get the obvious out of the way. I don't think that there's a legal way to do this, to run after someone else for the debt that they didn't build up. However, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a financial advisor. I mean, I've seen Social Security try to get repayments from the deceased for their children, so maybe it's not impossible. But get this, guys, the average American right now, they're carrying at least $22,000 in debt. That's excluding mortgage costs, okay? So yeah, debt is something that will weigh you down if you don't know how to take advantage of it. But tell me, guys, how are you right now? Are you struggling like many Americans here at home? Or are you taking this chance to invest in or waiting on possible crashes in the market? Whatever the case may be, I'm gonna do my best to keep you guys informed and updated on everything that's going on around us that affects our lives. But before I go, I just wanna thank you guys for your time. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for hitting the like button, and I'll see you on the next video.